of laziness, and we can't seem to do a single thing for ourselves anymore. Thanks to a plethora of startups and VCs with way too much money to burn, you can essentially get anything delivered to your door within a matter of minutes. Food, clothes, alcohol, marijuana, mattresses, you name it. Today, there are hundreds of startups in the on-demand delivery space. That means there are a ton of everyday people who are willing to do the labor. By 2020, 7.6 million people are expected to be working as providers in the on-demand economy. That's more than double the current total of 3.2 million. But the surging popularity in the on-demand economy has brought up some concerns around quality control, labor rights, and a company's liability if something goes wrong. To help us learn more about how the on-demand economy works, we have Matthew Schwab from BloomThat right here in the studio.
Matthew Schwab is co-founder and president of BloomThat, an on-demand flower delivery startup that operates in San Francisco and the New York tri-state area. BloomThat prides itself on its simple and tasteful packaging with seasonal flowers wrapped in burlap. The company launched as part of Y Combinator back in 2013, where it was dubbed as the Uber for flowers. Since then, BloomThat has raised $7.8 million in venture capital, and just this month expanded nationally with next-day delivery.
I'm here today with Matt Schwab of BloomThat. Hey Matt, thanks so much for joining me here today.
Of course, I have some flowers for you.
Thank you very much, they're beautiful.
Thank you.
So let's talk logistics. How do you handle the logistics for an on-demand delivery company?
So when we first started, we were handling it ourselves, but we soon realized that about 60% of the time, our customers weren't actually seeing our delivery person. The delivery was being met by a receptionist or a mailroom. So we now partner with FedEx, Deliv, and then local couriers in our major metropolitan cities. So
you mentioned that you found that the customers weren't seeing the delivery person. So what difference does that make, though?
So part of BloomThat is obviously optimizing for cost. So we want to keep the cost as low as possible. So every dollar matters. So if our customers aren't valuing the actual delivery experience, we might as well work with a best-in-class logistics partner who's going to be able to drive down that cost to a point where essentially we can use that cost to put into the flowers.
And I can imagine that that helps with, well, there has been a lot of conversation around the on-demand worker from W-2 to 1099.
Definitely.
So that kind of allows you to bypass that.
Yeah, it's not a bypass to avoid. It was 100% a bypass to be able to put the dollars into the experience for our customers that mattered. So would we be better off running the logistics ourselves or taking those few extra dollars that we would save by partnering with someone and adding it to the bouquet or reducing the cost of the bouquet overall?
So if something goes wrong in the delivery process, is that going to be on BloomThat, or are you going to put that blame on FedEx? How do you handle situations like that?
We handle that. We actually work with our partners. We want our customers reaching out to us because they chose to use us for that experience. So we're not making it anyone else's problem. We will handle it and then deal with our partners accordingly.
Okay, and what role should the government play in the on-demand economy?
I think as long as the companies are regulating in a way that makes sense. I mean, for us, there's no liability. No one's getting in a car. I think with the on-demand transportation stuff like that is a little bit different story. And because we work with companies to handle our logistics, they don't really play a huge role in what we do.
How did you decide to, or more so, you talked about this a little bit earlier, but why did you decide to partner with FedEx, Deliv, and OnTrack rather than handling the process from end to end?
So two reasons. One, we didn't see that it was adding a ton of value to our customers after asking them.
Right.
And two, as a startup, focus is incredibly important. So we saw a point where we were trying to build the best experience and thoughtfulness, and we were also trying to build the best delivery experience. And instead of optimizing for both, we chose to optimize for the best floral experience and partner with best-in-class logistics partners.
Tell me why this is necessary. Why is the on-demand economy good for our society?
So I wouldn't say the on-demand economy is good for our society. I think that this last year we had actually a lot of hype around it. I think this year we're going to see a lot of companies trying to figure out and optimize. Maybe people don't need flowers in 20 minutes, but they do want them same day. So where is that balance between a 2-hour, 4-hour window as compared to in 40 minutes? And figuring out that balance, I think, is going to be really key in 2016.
So how on demand is on demand? How fast does it need to come?
Sure, so I think it's relative, right? In food, I'm hungry now. I probably want my food in an hour. In transportation, I need to get from point A to point B now. In flowers, the existing experience is anywhere from 4 to 7 days. So for us, same day in a matter of hours is good enough for the customer. It's actually what they want. So I think it's just relative dependent on the industry you're talking about.
And so last thing, so this is a problem that people have, and this is not just a solution to a problem that doesn't exist.
No, this is definitely a problem. This is a problem I've experienced, I'm sure you've experienced, but when we bridge the gap between the thought about doing something nice and the action, people actually send flowers and celebrate little moments in life far more often if you make the experience simpler.
Thanks, Matt, so much for joining me today.
Thank you.
Bullish airs every Wednesday at 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Pacific, and you can find it here on TechCrunch.com.